Welcome, gents. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the refusal to be controlled by it. Most people think bravery is about being loud, aggressive, or reckless. It's not. Real bravery is about making tough choices, standing firm when the world wants you to fold, and facing reality without flinching. And that's exactly what sets Sigma males apart. While most people chase validation, avoid confrontation, and fear standing alone, Sigma males walk a different path. They don't care about fitting in, they don't beg for approval, and they don't let fear decide their actions. That level of independence, it scares people. Because deep down everyone wishes they could be that fearless, but few actually are. Maybe you're watching this because you recognize that part of yourself. Maybe you've always felt different, always questioned things, and always refused to be controlled. If that's you, understand this. You're not broken, you're built differently. And that difference is your greatest strength. This video isn't about empty motivation or feel-good nonsense. It's about truth, raw, unapologetic, and unfiltered. You're about to see why Sigma males are braver than the rest. And if you see yourself in these traits, then it's time to stop doubting and start owning who you are. Watch closely. Because the moment you fully accept this part of yourself, the world stops being something to fear and starts being something you dominate. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. They're willing to be the villain in someone else's story. Most people spend their entire lives trying to be seen as good. They walk on eggshells, sugarcoat their words, and make choices based on how others will perceive them. They would rather betray themselves than risk being labeled as cold, arrogant, or selfish. But Sigma males? They don't play that game. They understand a brutal truth. In someone else's story, they will always be the villain. Not because they're actually bad, but because they refuse to be controlled. The moment they set a boundary, refuse to entertain nonsense, or choose their own path instead of following the crowd, someone is going to take it personally. And most people can't handle that kind of disobedience. Here's where the difference lies. Most people panic when they're misunderstood. They rush to explain, to justify, to prove they're still good. Sigma males, they don't bother. They let people think whatever they want. They don't go out of their way to be cruel, but they also won't shrink themselves just to make others comfortable. And that's what drives people crazy. They can't manipulate a Sigma male into guilt. They can't shame him into compliance. They can call him arrogant, emotionless, or selfish, but none of it sticks because he doesn't need their approval. This isn't about being reckless or intentionally difficult. It's about having the backbone to live on your own terms, even when it means losing people. It's about realizing that if someone needs you to be weak in order to like you, their opinion is worthless. So let them call you the villain. Let them spin their stories. The real ones will see the truth. The rest, they were never on your side to begin with. Number 2, they walk away without a backup plan. Most people won't leave a bad situation unless they have something else waiting for them. They stay in jobs they hate because they're scared of unemployment. They stay in dead-end relationships because they don't want to be alone. They cling to toxic friendships because they fear starting over. Comfort, even when it's suffocating, feels safer than the unknown. Sigma males don't operate like that. When something no longer serves them, they walk, without hesitation, without second-guessing, and without a safety net. They don't waste time waiting for a better option to magically appear. They trust themselves enough to step into the unknown, knowing they'll figure it out along the way. This kind of mindset terrifies most people. Why? Because they've been conditioned to believe that security is everything. But Sigma males understand a brutal truth. The illusion of security is often what keeps people trapped. A toxic job can still fire you. A bad relationship can still fall apart. A so-called safety net can disappear overnight. So rather than clinging to something that's already draining them, Sigma males cut the cord and move on. No excuses, no dragging their feet, just action. And here's what most don't realize. Walking away without a backup plan isn't reckless, it's powerful. Because when you remove the crutches, you force yourself to rise. You learn how to adapt, how to survive, and how to create opportunities instead of waiting for them. That's why Sigma males never stay stuck. While others overthink, hesitate, and compromise, they take the leap. And they don't just land on their feet, they build something better than what they left behind. So while the world watches in fear, wondering how they do it, Sigma males are already halfway down the road, proving that real security comes from within, not from the things we hold on to out of fear. Number 3, They don't need permission to change their lives. Most people hesitate before making big moves. They wait for reassurance, approval, or some magical sign that tells them it's the right time. They ask their friends, their family, even social media, "What do you think? Should I do it?" And if they don't get enough encouragement, they stay put, stuck, waiting. Sigma males don't wait. They don't ask for permission. They don't beg for support. And they don't waste time trying to convince people to understand their decisions. If they decide to move across the world, switch careers, or cut ties with someone, they don't hold a press conference about it. They just do it. This kind of decisiveness makes people uncomfortable. Why? Because most people secretly wish they had the guts to do the same, but instead they overthink, second-guess, and let fear talk them out of it. They convince themselves they need more time, more approval, more signs before they act. Meanwhile, Sigma males have already made their move. It's not that they're reckless, it's that they trust themselves. They know they don't need a committee to approve their life choices. They understand that no one will ever fully see their vision because it wasn't meant for them, and they're okay with that. This is why Sigma males never stay stuck. They don't wait for life to give them a push. They push themselves. And while others are still debating whether to take action, Sigma males are already 10 steps ahead, living the life they chose on their own terms. Number 4, they own their mistakes without excuses. A lot of people like to think they're strong until they're faced with their own failures. That's when the excuses come rolling in. Suddenly it's never their fault. It was bad luck. Someone else sabotaged them. The timing wasn't right. Anything to avoid admitting that they screwed up. Sigma males don't do that. When they mess up, they own it, fully, completely, and without sugarcoating. No blaming circumstances, no shifting responsibility, no pity parties, just pure accountability. This isn't about being hard on themselves, it's about being real. They understand that making mistakes is inevitable, but making excuses is a choice. And excuses do nothing but keep you stuck. So instead of wasting time justifying their failures, Sigma males focus on fixing them. They analyze what went wrong, learn the lesson, and move forward. No dragging it out, no begging for sympathy, just action. And here's what sets them apart. They don't fear failure in the first place. Most people avoid risk because they're terrified of being wrong. Sigma males don't have that fear. They'd rather take a shot and fail than sit around playing it safe, because even when they lose, they gain knowledge, experience, and wisdom that makes them sharper for the next round. This level of accountability is rare. Most people would rather protect their ego than face the truth. But Sigma males know that real power comes from looking failure in the eye and saying, "Yeah, that was on me, now watch me fix it." And that's exactly why they keep growing while everyone else stays stuck, because they refuse to waste time making excuses when they could be making progress. Number 5, they accept reality without flinching. Most people don't actually want the truth. They want a version of it that feels good. They rewrite reality in their heads to make it more comfortable. They tell themselves that toxic relationships can be fixed, that dead-end jobs will magically get better, that people who constantly disappoint them will eventually change. Anything to avoid facing the uncomfortable truth. Sigma males don't play that game. They look at life exactly as it is, raw, unfiltered, and sometimes brutal. If something is broken, they don't pretend it isn't. If someone shows them who they are, they believe it the first time. They don't waste energy making excuses for people, hoping for miracles, or clinging to things that no longer serve them. This kind of clarity makes most people uneasy. Why? Because reality isn't always pleasant. It's easier to stay in denial, to delay tough decisions, to keep believing things will work out on their own. But Sigma males don't waste time on wishful thinking. They know that pretending something isn't a problem doesn't make it go away. It just gives it more time to grow. And here's the real difference. While others hide from reality, Sigma males use it to their advantage. They don't just accept the truth, they work with it. If a plan isn't working, they pivot. If a situation is unsalvageable, they leave. If the odds are stacked against them, they adapt. No emotional breakdowns, no avoidance, just action. This is why Sigma males never stay stuck. They refuse to live in delusion, no matter how tempting it might be. They'd rather face the harsh truth and deal with it than waste years lying to themselves. And because of that, they're always ahead, moving with reality instead of running from it. Number 6, they don't let fear of failure stop them. because they don't tie their identity to success. Most people don't just fear failure, they take it personally. If they mess up, they don't see it as a learning experience, they see it as proof that they're not good enough. Their ego is so wrapped up in their success that one setback can shatter their confidence. That's why they hesitate, overthink, and play it safe. To them, failure isn't just an event, it's an identity crisis. Sigma males don't think like that. To them, failure is just data, nothing more, nothing less. If something doesn't work, it doesn't mean they're not capable, it just means they need to tweak their approach. No emotional breakdowns, no self-pity, just cold, hard analysis. This mindset makes them fearless. While most people stay stuck in the planning phase, trying to guarantee success before they even start, Sigma males dive in. They know that waiting for the perfect moment is just another way of stalling. They take action, fail fast, learn fast, and keep moving. And here's the kicker. Because they don't tie their self-worth to success, they're willing to take bigger risks. They don't need constant validation. They don't need applause. They don't need their name on a trophy to feel good about themselves. They trust their abilities regardless of the outcome. This is why Sigma males keep growing while others stay stagnant. They aren't held back by the fear of looking foolish or making mistakes. They embrace trial and error, knowing that every failure brings them closer to mastery. So while the rest of the world hesitates, afraid of what failure might say about them, Sigma males are already 5 steps ahead, because they understand that failure isn't an identity. It's just a stepping stone to something greater. Number 7, they can cut ties with people who once meant everything. Most people stay in relationships far past their expiration date, not because they're happy, but because they're attached to the memories. They tell themselves, we've been friends for years, or I can't just walk away after everything we've been through. They hold on out of guilt, obligation, or sheer habit, even when the connection has turned toxic. Sigma males don't operate that way. They don't cling to relationships just because they used to mean something. If someone betrays their trust, starts draining their energy, or no longer aligns with their values, they walk away. No dramatic exits, no drawn-out explanations, just a clean break. To outsiders, this might seem cold, but it's not. It's self-respect. Sigma males understand that holding on to the wrong people only delays their growth. They don't let nostalgia blind them to reality. They don't justify bad behavior with, but we have history. And they definitely don't stay in situations that no longer serve them just to avoid feeling guilty. This ability to cut ties isn't about lacking emotions. It's about having the courage to put themselves first. It's about recognizing that love, friendship, and loyalty should be mutual. If someone is constantly disrespecting them, draining their energy, or showing signs that they're no longer the same person, Sigma males don't waste time trying to fix what's already broken. And here's the truth. This isn't an easy path. Letting go of someone who once meant everything is painful. But Sigma males accept that pain, process it, and move forward. Because they'd rather face temporary loneliness than keep people around out of fear, guilt, or weakness. That's not heartlessness, that's strength. And in a world where so many people settle for less just to avoid discomfort, that kind of strength is rare. Number 8, they face themselves in the darkest moments. Most people will do anything to avoid sitting alone with their thoughts. When life gets hard, they drown themselves in distractions, scrolling endlessly on their phone, binge-watching shows, keeping themselves constantly busy just to avoid that sinking feeling creeping in. They tell themselves they're just unwinding, but deep down they know the truth. They're running. Running from their fears, running from their regrets, running from the version of themselves they don't want to confront. Sigma males, they don't run, they sit in the discomfort, they face themselves in the silence no matter how dark it gets. They look their fears in the eye instead of numbing themselves with cheap escapes. And that takes a different kind of courage, the kind most people will never understand. Because here's the thing, facing yourself isn't easy. It means admitting your weaknesses, your mistakes, your insecurities. It means acknowledging your deepest fears instead of pretending they don't exist. It means accepting that sometimes you are the problem. Most people can't handle that level of honesty, but Sigma males know that avoiding reality only makes things worse. The pain you ignore doesn't go away, it just festers. So instead of running, they reflect, they process, they sit with their pain, let it teach them, and then use it to grow. They understand that the only way to truly overcome something is to go through it, not around it, not away from it, but through it. And that's why they come out stronger. While others are busy escaping their reality, Sigma males are mastering theirs. They don't need distractions to cope. They don't need constant noise to avoid their thoughts. They embrace the darkness, knowing that the only way to truly be free is to face what haunts you head on. Number 9, they protect their energy like their life depends on it. Most people let their energy get drained without even realizing it. They entertain drama because they don't want to seem rude. They engage in pointless arguments because they feel the need to defend themselves. They tolerate negativity because they're too afraid to walk away. And before they know it, they're exhausted, not from hard work, but from wasting their energy on things that don't matter. Sigma males? They don't play that game. If something disrupts their peace, drains them, or distracts them from their purpose, they cut it off instantly. No guilt, no hesitation. Because to them, energy isn't just something you give away freely. It's the fuel that powers everything they do. And they refuse to waste it on nonsense. That means they don't engage in meaningless debates just to prove a point. They don't let toxic people stick around out of obligation. They don't let social expectations pressure them into situations that drain them. If a conversation, a relationship, or an environment is costing them more than it's giving, they walk away. No explanation needed. Some people call this cold, but Sigma males know better. They understand that your energy is everything. Waste it on the wrong things, and you have nothing left for what truly matters. Protect it, and you have the strength to build, grow, and move forward without unnecessary distractions. And here's the kicker. When you stop giving your energy to pointless things, your whole life changes. Your mind clears. Your confidence grows. You stop reacting to every little thing and start focusing only on what moves you forward. That's why Sigma males seem so unshakable. They're not heartless, they're just disciplined. They don't let the outside world dictate where their energy goes. They choose wisely, and that's what sets them apart. Number 10, they keep moving forward. Even when no one understands them, most people need a support system cheering them on. They need validation, reassurance, and a sense that others approve of their choices. If they don't get it, doubt creeps in. Am I doing the right thing? Should I just conform? That's why so many people abandon their dreams the moment they face resistance, because deep down, they crave acceptance more than they crave success. Sigma males? They don't need a fan club. They don't need people clapping for them, understanding them, or even believing in them. They keep moving, even when no one gets it, even when people call them reckless, even when they're labeled arrogant or delusional for not following the crowd. They don't waste time explaining themselves, justifying their choices, or trying to convince anyone to see their vision. They know most people won't, and that's fine. This kind of independence terrifies people. Society teaches us that going against the grain is dangerous. Stick with the group, follow the blueprint, don't make waves. But Sigma males reject that mindset entirely. They trust themselves more than they trust public opinion. They'd rather walk a lonely path towards something real than join the herd on a road that leads nowhere. And here's the truth. Visionaries are always misunderstood. The greatest minds, the boldest leaders, the people who changed the world. At some point they were doubted, mocked, even ridiculed. But they didn't stop, they didn't slow down to seek approval, they didn't beg people to understand, they just kept moving. That's the Sigma way. While others are paralyzed by self-doubt and the need for validation, Sigma males charge forward. They know that by the time people finally understand what they were doing all along, it won't even matter, because they'll already be 10 steps ahead. Number 11, they say what needs to be said, no matter the fallout. Most people walk on eggshells. They dodge uncomfortable conversations, sugarcoat the truth, and let things slide just to avoid conflict. Not Sigma males. They don't soften their words to make people feel better. They don't dress up the truth with fake politeness. If something needs to be said, they say it, directly, bluntly, and with zero hesitation. But here's the thing, they don't do it to be cruel. They're not trying to be harsh for the sake of it. They don't blurt things out just to get a reaction. When a Sigma male speaks his mind, it's not about ego, it's about honesty. It's about cutting through the nonsense and getting straight to the point. And in a world where most people are too scared to be real, that kind of honesty can feel like a slap in the face. People might call them cold, rude, or arrogant. But Sigma males don't care. They'd rather be disliked for speaking the truth than be liked for pretending. They don't say what people want to hear, they say what people need to hear. And the funny part, deep down, even those who get offended know they're right. But what really sets them apart is this: they're just as honest with themselves. They don't live in denial. They don't make excuses for their own flaws. They face reality head on, no matter how uncomfortable it is. That's why they grow while others stay stuck. That's why they earn respect, even from those who claim to hate them. Because at the end of the day, the truth doesn't care about your feelings, and neither do they. Conclusion: the quiet strength that sets them apart. Bravery isn't loud. It's not about showing off, proving a point, or demanding recognition. True bravery is silent, relentless, and deeply personal. It's the ability to stand alone without fear, to make hard choices without seeking approval, and to move forward even when no one understands. And that's exactly what sets Sigma males apart. While the world chases validation, they chase truth. While others cling to comfort, they embrace discomfort. While most people let fear stop them, they use it as fuel. Sigma males don't talk about being brave. They live it. They take risks without guarantees, own their mistakes without excuses, and cut ties with anything that holds them back, no matter how much it once meant to them. But here's the thing. This kind of strength doesn't come easy. It's not always glamorous. It's not always rewarding in the short term. Sometimes it means walking alone, being misunderstood, or facing moments of doubt with no one to reassure them. But they push forward anyway. Because for them, the alternative, living a life that isn't truly theirs, is far worse. So if you resonate with this, if you've ever felt like you don't fit into the mold, like your path is different, like your instincts tell you to go against the grain, trust it. Because the world doesn't need more people who follow the crowd. It needs more people with the courage to stand apart. And that's the kind of bravery that changes everything. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.